Thank you, Rick, for sharing. Now we're going to hop down to Brisbane, Australia. This is approximately a minute and a half long video of a 10-minute ordeal. They watched these lights for over 10 minutes, or right at 10 minutes. Here they are. And at first glance, you're going to say, oh, well, that's Starlink. But there's a little bit of commentary here. This was at 4 a.m.
It's like a blue moon or whatever.
And these things span as far as you can see in both directions. This is 1 minute of 10 minutes. And they counted approximately 500 of these things. Incredible. And what I want to show you here after this video,
But this makes
they were saying this makes no sense.
makes legitimately no sense.
Yeah.
Because it's not aircrafts. They're way too fucking close together.
Too close together to be aircraft. There's some other blinking lights in the sky that appear to be stationary. These look like classic Starlink. I totally agree, but there's way too many. I'm going to show you a Starlink observation from about a week ago that doesn't look anything like this at
But
all.
there was nothing in front of it.
I mean, these people were absolutely mystified. Okay, this is the original video footage. I mean, the way I received it. We're going to look at it again. I zoom in a little tighter, looking for anything other than what we see here. I mean, that's a great video, but I zoom in a little tighter. And here they are, a little bit closer up. 4 a.m. Again, we're in Brisbane, Australia.
Well, it is like a blue moon or whatever.
There's like a cluster of 2, a cluster of 3, and then you have like ones that are obviously very independent of each other. Like right there's a good example of 2 very close. The rest of them are situated farther apart, and then you'll have like 3 in a row, or at least very close together.
It makes legitimately no sense because it's not aircrafts. They're way too fucking close together.
And keep in mind, they watched this for the better part of 10 minutes. And I'm going to show you a Starlink video from October 24th, and it really doesn't look anything like this at all. That's a remarkable video out of Brisbane.
But there was nothing in front of it.
And I agree, it looks just like, or at least similar to Starlink. Absolutely it does. I'm the first one to be on board with that. But when you see a Starlink video, which I'm about to show you right now, in fact, we're going to go to Texas. Here's a Starlink video that was taken October 24th. These were moving east to west. The video that I just showed you were moving west to east. So they were...
All right, that's basically it. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem, Rachach Wadash for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Shalom. Shalom of the Lord, prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth to the elect, who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that the Lord is going to have mercy on in these latter days. Shalom. You guys can see it here. This is a spotting over here in Australia of over 500 UFOs, of what they can't identify to be UFOs, but we know what the UFOs are. They're quite identified when you go into the scriptures and you read that not only have these things been played a major role throughout all of history, those being the chariots of the Most High, but they're going to play a major role in the upcoming final events of this place, of this kingdom. All right. Now Esau Edom likes to get excited over over sightings of UFOs, and he's all interested in them, and he's reporting videos. Hell, damn near all the videos that I see on UFOs are basically Edomites, man. You know, they're more excited, more into it than Jake is. You know, unless Jake sees one himself. You know, he doesn't really regard them. You know, he's not as into it. But ultimately, what they're gonna find out is that these things aren't gonna be exciting in the same way pretty soon, once everybody comes to the realization what they're here for. All right, and that's to deliver the elect, the men and women that have been being oppressed by this dragon, this B system. All of a sudden, once it sinks in who those chariots are here for, they ain't you're not gonna hear the same tone in their voice anymore. All right. This is Zechariah 5:1. It says, "Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll." Now that flying roll that he's seeing is basically descriptive of what your typical UFO, what most of those sightings would describe, which is like a round circular shaped disc object, sometimes rotating, but it's round and it's flying around. And or even like the cigar shaped ones, where they just looks like a cylinder, has just no wings, no nothing, you know. Those are two of the pretty common types. It says, verse 2, "And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. It says, then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth." So these things are a curse to this place, man. They're a blessing to us, but to the heathen, these this is nothing for them to be excited about. Basically, it says, "For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it." It says, "I will bring it forth, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief." And that's Esau, Edom, and Esau's over there in Australia too, and South Africa, and Europe, and we know they're over here in the Americas as well too. All right, so these things are going to be spotted all over. It says, "And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name," that's you Christians, "and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof." All right, so that's what these things are here for. It's nothing to be uh, excited about, And Jeremiah goes in a little bit further here in Jeremiah chapter 4. I'll start at 5. It says, "Declare ye in Judah, and publish in Jerusalem, and say, Blow ye the trumpet in the land. Cry, gather together, and say, Assemble yourselves, and let us go into the defense cities. To set up the standard toward Zion. Retire, stay not. For I will bring evil from the north, and a great destruction." What is that talking about? This here is the land of the north over here, man. and we know a great destruction has come. All right. It says, "The lion has come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way." Who is that? All right. Who's the destroyer of the Gentiles? All right. The ones who put him on, the ones who put him on the cross, who sacrificed him, who blaspheme his name, who swear on him falsely. Those are all Gentiles, and the Most High is about to send his son back to do his thing. Okay? It says, "He is gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate, and thy city shall be laid waste without an inhabitant." That's heavy. It says, "For this, gird you with sackcloth, lament and howl, for the fierce anger of the Lord Yahweh is not turned back from us." So this is the time of mourning, man, when you see, where you heathen, and you 2/3 who are seeing these things. All right, it says, "And it shall come to pass at that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, that the heart of the king shall perish, and the heart of the princes and the priests shall be astonished, and the prophets shall wonder." So if the heart of the kings are going to perish, man, you already know. But at a certain point, these things aren't just going to be curious lights in the sky. They're gonna manifest themselves in a much greater way, and eventually they're gonna do damage on this place. And I can't wait for that day to come. And hopefully, man, we start seeing more and more sightings of these so-called UFOs. Call Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rachakwadash, for for the chariots that we do get a chance to see and the ones that do get reported, it's just a faith booster, man. All over. Every time you get a report on these things, it's a faith booster. It says, verse 10, then said I, Lord, power, surely thou hast greatly deceived this people and Jerusalem, saying, ye shall have peace, whereas the sword reacheth unto the soul. All right, this place here is greatly deceived, man, and you Jakes here are greatly deceived. Y'all out there voting, thinking Joe Biden's gonna save you. That's absolute madness. Verse 11, at that time shall it be said to this people and to Jerusalem, a dry wind of the high places in the wilderness toward the daughter of my people, not to fan, nor to cleanse. It says, even a full wind from those places shall come unto me. Now also will I give sentence against them. All right. So this is a judgment. And this is the main point. Verse 13, behold, he shall come up as clouds, and his chariots shall be as a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than eagles. Woe unto us, for we are spoiled. Okay. So when you go back and you see these things,
No, it makes legitimately no sense because it's not aircrafts. They're way too fucking close together.
just
And
wait
keep in mind,
until they
they
start
watched this
fulfilling their
for the better
true
part
purpose.
of 10 minutes.
All
And I'm
right.
going to show you a Starlink video.
And I won't hold it too much long. I'll put the link to the description of this video. This is from Mr. BB333. He's got a good bit of subscribers. I'll post a link to that so you brothers can watch it. He usually puts out pretty good stuff. But I'll close on this. This is Isaiah 66 and 15. It says, for behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind. All right. So that's what these chariots are coming to bring, fire, man, on behalf of the Most High. Call Halo Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. All right. So these things are here to rebuke with fire, man. That's. Let me get the next verse, verse 16. It says, for by fire and by his word will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be many. So it can't get any more plainer than that. So with that, hopefully you brothers are edified. Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachach Wadash, Shalom, Wa Abba Babal.